The following program, Chefs About Town, is made possible by funding provided in part by Grey Monk Estate Winery, producers of distinctive wines for discriminating taste, all approved with the Vintners Quality Alliance seal, your assurance of international excellence. And the whole kitchen caboodle, from gadgets to gourmet. The whole kitchen caboodle at City Square has what you need. And Souk Harbor House, a restaurant inn by the sea on Vancouver Island. Purveyors of regional Canadian cuisine are proud to be sponsors of British Columbia's Food and Wine Arts program, Chefs About Town.
Hello, my name is Gary Faessler. Welcome once again to Chefs About Town, the show for people who really love good food. This is a cookery program that focuses on the very best, our extraordinary chefs, wines, and foods that we have to offer here in British Columbia. And I'd like to introduce to you today a good friend of mine. He's someone that I've admired for many years. He's one of the most extraordinary chefs here in Canada. His name is Bruno Marti. He's owner-chef of Le Belle Auberge restaurant in Ladner. Bruno?
Hi, Gary.
Hi, welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
Nice to have you again.
Great.
And today we're going to be preparing now something that I haven't ever cooked before.
Guinea fowl.
Guinea fowl. Looks a little bit like a chicken.
Actually, it looks a little more like a pheasant because it is very lean.
And the legs are really long.
Yeah, and also
too.
you can see the veins are very solid, which means a wilder bird always is more chumpy or more veiny, more nervy than a chicken that's bred in the smaller compartments.
This guinea fowl, where is this raised? Where did you get this?
This comes from the island. I get it from Chain K,
Vancouver
which
Island.
is a supplier of our poultry here in Vancouver. Yeah.
This is a fairly new
It's a new
product, isn't it?
It's a new kind of a bird that is being grown here. We have pheasant, we have pigeons, we have quails, but now somebody is growing guinea fowls, and that's it's exciting because it's different. If the guinea fowl looks completely different. Mm-hmm. It has a heart, no tail, gray, blue, no tail, gray, blue, and white dots.
Oh, really?
And it looks a little bit like a partridge. But naturally, it's much larger.
It likes to run around a lot too because these legs are really thin and are the legs good? Are they sinewy like pheasants? Actually,
no. They're better. They're not as sinewy as a pheasant. As you will see when I cut them up,
okay.
They're actually consumable.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, consumable. Well, I'm sure the way that you prepare it will be more than that. So let's get started.
Yes, I mean consumable because the pheasant ones are really inedible.
Good for stock.
Yeah. Okay, now the reason why I've chosen the method of cooking this today, we're going to poach it. It's because it's such a dry, it is a dry bird, and you would like to add it, if possible, a little moisture. So we're going to actually poach it in cream and white wine.
Interesting.
And
so
we're not going to mask it with too much of flavors. We're going to kind of leave it on its own.
Because it's more delicate?
Well, we want it to taste the way it's intended to be. Mm-hmm. And we don't want too much. I do want to put a little garnish, sweet basil, but in general, I want it to stay with the cream and the white wine.
So we're going to poach this, which is something you wouldn't do, let's say, particularly with a duck or something.
No, you could do it with pheasant, you can do it with chicken, mm-hmm. but you wouldn't do it with a duck.
No.
Because a duck, you need heat, you want to get rid of some of the fat.
Yeah.
Also, in this one here, we're going to take the skin off.
Well, the color is more like pheasant, too. It's quite dark.
Yes, and you can see it's also really hardly any fat. It's a very lean product.
Yeah.
So because of it, we can be a little generous and use a little cream and a little butter to cook it, and not worry too much about your beautiful figure of slimness.
I worry about that all the time.
You do, huh?
No.
I can see it. You do. I can see.
No.
Beautiful food and wine. I mean, you have to live.
I don't know. I should be 300 pounds. I'm expecting any morning now to wake up and I'm going to be this big.
I see. Well, as long as you have a good tailor.
Yeah, that's right. Let everything out.
Okay, maybe what you could do is
Yeah.
for me, put the little shallots in here, turn it on, about half of that.
Okay.
This is just some chopped shallots which I brought with me.
So I'll just put this on moderate heat.
Moderate heat, yeah, because we want to make it, we don't want to braise it, poach it, roast it, we want to just
So do I
braise
put
it.
something in here besides the shallots, you say?
No, you can use a little
Just the
butter.
shallots, but we should put a little butter in though.
I think so, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a little.
Okay.
Just pop these in here?
Yeah, not all of them. That's enough, yeah.
Well, yeah, there's some stuff in there.
Well, we have for 4 portion here as well. And shallots are mild, so that's fine.
Okay.
You can also ask the butcher, I guess, to do this when you buy those birds, but it's really quite simple to take off the breast and the legs. Naturally, you have
Oh,
to.
it is.
You have to try to keep as much as possible on the piece that you'd like
People
to
are
eat.
thinking, I say, yeah, sure, it's easy, but of course, if you've never attempted it before, yes, you're going to have some problems and not do it right the first
Oh,
time.
yes,
But
yes.
that's what learning's about and cooking is about. Nothing, is you're not going to learn unless you try it yourself. Right?
I do think that sometimes people who watch something like this, they think it is too complicated. But if they try it themselves, they actually would realize that it's quite easy.
Absolutely.
It's quite easy done.
Yeah. Well, I hope that's the case.
It is. As you can see, I do it really quite fast, and I'm no expert, so.
Oh, no, not at all. Gold medal winner.
Well, this
By
was
the way,
just a little hobby of mine on the
winning
side.
gold medals internationally for the country.
It's to keep the profession going and to keep the young people motivated.
By the way, should we saute up a few of these now that you mentioned?
Let's see.
Just,
Actually,
what
this
is
is
this?
silver that should melt.
Here. Let me just put this here for a sec. Just for a sec, because now that you brought it up, culinary gold medalist, international gold medalist, silver medal winner.
Actually, the silver
We don't like
medal-
to talk about the silver medal.
The silver
here.
medal here, I really usually don't want to talk about it, but it was actually quite an achievement. It was the national team, Singapore, 1990, which was a very tough competition. And
One of those here?
the silver one, this one here,
This one here?
yeah.
Wow.
And silver is not bad. It's not gold, but I guess if you never make silver, you don't know how good
But
gold feels.
there were 19, 20 countries competing, and
Well,
you came
no,
in second.
Yeah, that's true, but still, we don't particularly like to come in second. We like to only come in first. But we
I
did
know.
come in first
Go
in
for
many
the gold.
others. The other one that you see here, this is from Australia, and that one was a gold medal.
Wow.
That was also a beautiful competition.
When was this?
New Zealand, 1990, in spring of 1990.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Now, this one looks great. I like the look of this one. Bruno.
This one, that's actually I think this was the first one I ever won. That was 1976. What does it say?
1984.
Oh, 84. Well, that's when we became the world champion. That was one of 3. We won 3 of those in
I
that
don't know,
year.
this would look kind of good on me,
each.
don't you think?
Sure,
No,
why
no.
not? Put it on. Just to have a look how it looks on you, because I only see it on me.
No. I
Yeah,
can't.
eh?
No, I haven't earned the right.
You haven't.
I haven't earned the right to wear those, so just put those over here. But that's great. Yeah.
Well, we do those things not just really for ourselves. We also do them to give recognition for our country and our products into the rest of the world. Because when you get people like myself from 32 countries in one spot, we like to show off what you have. And we are remote from Europe, and unless we go over there
And show them what we're doing.
what we have and what we do with it, they may think we are still cooking everything in one pot, which there's nothing wrong with it, but we do have learned something, and we do appreciate food and sit together and enjoy it as part of our lives.
For me too, though, that these culinary extravaganzas, these competitions, these exchanges, it's networking. There's a great deal of camaraderie. Yes, there's competition, but it's also learning from each other, and there's an excitement in that, and a sharing of knowledge and where you are, what the country is doing. It's a representation of some of the best chefs in those countries that are competing, and there's only maybe 8 or 9 chefs in each of these representing each of these countries. So
Well, hopefully we always send the best that there is. We try to make sure that local competition, to weed out the weaker ones, and only the best chefs actually go to these competitions. And you know, when you are chosen to go to represent the country, you are recognized as being
The very best.
the very best. And it's not only good for the country, it's also good for your own ego and you know, to make sure that you represent the country properly. Now, if you give me some white wine in here.
Oh yeah, you bet. We have some extraordinary white wine tonight.
Now, what is it? Tell me about it. Because you're the one who brought it, so.
Yeah, it's Gehringer Brothers. These are brothers that make the wine
Please go ahead.
in Oliver, BC, and it's an estate winery. And tonight, this is an Auxerrois. How much? How much?
A little
Going?
more, you
A little
know. I
more?
know that you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's it.
There
That's
we go.
it.
Well, we have a little bit left.
As I mentioned to you, that's all we are. That's all we're going to use. Together
that's
with
all.
together with cream. Now, just the ingredients alone that we have here is a feast. I think we're going to put the cover on now. Huh?
Okay. Okay, good. Did you want to taste some wine?
I would like that because I usually don't cook without tasting what I'm cooking with. Can you put the fire on there? So
You bet, you bet.
actually,
Here.
very slowly, right? So we
Front?
not gonna-
Got it? Okay.
okay,
So on low?
Yeah,
Slow?
on low, yeah.
Let me just check that.
okay.
There you go. Yeah, I can't get much lower than that.
Now maybe you give me half a glass of
You
that
bet.
Auxerrois that you have here,
Oh, gorgeous. Also,
just to make sure that it fits this.
well, I think it will.
Skinny fowl.
When we talked about putting this dish together today, we were trying to think of a wine that would marry well with it, and I think that this also does very well. This is made by Walter Gehringer of the Gehringer Brothers Estate Winery in
estate,
Oliver, BC, in Oliver, British Columbia, and this is one of my favorite whites that they make at that winery, and it's a Pinot Auxerrois. It's a typical Northern European Alsatian varietal. Well, you know that.
Certainly, certainly.
And
the
nose-
taste that comes out tells me that it will work well. The skinny fowl will be in
the
love
nose-
with
yeah,
this
cheers.
thing. Cheers.
Lots of. Oh, it's lovely.
What
As
year
I
is
say,
this?
acidic, that it makes you salivate a little bit.
1990.
1990.
What,
Pinot Auxerrois.
But it's something you
has
drink young anyway.
drink young and fresh and clean, and this really reminds me. Wines like this really remind me of the tree fruits and the Okanagan, where it's made, where the wine is made and vinted.
You can drink these without any food, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And
At
it's-
any
it's
time.
A lot of peaches, and I get peaches and melons, which I think will really marry well with the. Oops.
Give me that little frying pan over
Yeah,
there,
you
if you
bet.
may, please. In front. Let's put it in front where your hands are.
Oh, I just lost some more hair in my hand.
Right here. It's one of the. See,
One of the hazards.
chefs very seldom have any hair there, you know. And that's probably because of it. We have a tendency of passing over fire. And now I'm going to make a little potato here. Actually, in the old days, it was called bomana. Now today we just
Sorry, it's called Bomana?
Anna, like the
Bomana.
beautiful Anna, you know. Bom Anna. Yeah, Bom Anna. But in the old days, what we used to do, we put them in a form and we made like a mountain out of them. Like put this in a form, so when it was finished, it was about that high, all rings of potato.
Wow.
But today we are a little more modern and we are actually placing potatoes like this on the outside of a plate, flat. Again, potato, the best way of a potato is to eat it when it's cooked in butter, almost like a fried potato rather than a poached potato. It's almost fried like a deep
And you
fry.
know how I feel about salt in cooking, and you know that you
Yes.
don't need salt with a lot of the foods. And stuff. I think one of the exceptions for me has got to be with potatoes. I think a little salt in the butter with potatoes is great because salt and potatoes seem to marry really well.
Okay, now what I'm going to do with these potatoes, we're not going to put any salt, but we are going to put some almonds.
Oh,
So it tastes like hazelnut or butternut from the butter.
but there is a little salt in the butter too, though, isn't
This
it?
is salted butter, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I meant. Yeah.
So you don't need any more salt.
No, you don't need any more because actually once you cook it down, the salt is.
I see you have your peppermill there somewhere.
Oh
so
yeah, hold on.
maybe at the end or just a little bit. Okay, put a little bit.
You
Just-
know I get
Just a little bit. Just a little.
you know I
That's
get
it.
carried
That's
away.
It. That's it.
Oh, my new peppermill.
See, that's it. Now I also brought something beautiful here.
Oh,
We're
great!
going to put them in poaching. I think we need 4.
Little crab apples,
Wants
crabby
to eat.
apples.
crab apples, yeah.
Crabby apples. Yeah,
Crabby apples. Mine never crab, mine.
No?
No, they're always peaceful, quiet. That's in the rear, right?
Yeah, peaceful,
I would
quiet
love-
apples.
that's right.
Especially when you poach them. Whoa! So this is almost done. It's getting there.
See, even because it's a wild bird,
Very lean.
I always like to leave it a little bit on the pink side.
Hold on,
inside.
hold on. I'm gonna taste this because it's very important to taste as you go. You know, you want a combination of spices and flavors that suits you personally. So if you don't taste as you go, you'll have no idea what it's going to taste like at the end, right, Bruno?
That's right. That's right.
So you don't want any surprises when you serve it to your guests at the end. And,
Actually,
there's too much salt.
This is not a joke. This is
No, it's
actually
very
a fact.
true. Yeah.
That I always say to my cooks, have you tasted what you're serving right now?
Sure.
Because if you don't taste it, I mean, it could very well be that it has either too much salt or no flavor. Take
That's
a bean,
right.
for instance. A bean, if a bean doesn't have any flavor, you gotta give a bean some salt more than other things.
right.
So if you don't taste it, after when it's finished and you see the customer
Also-
didn't eat it, you say, gee, maybe we should have tasted it first.
Maybe. Also, other things happen as you cook too. Of course, the texture changes. So you want a combination of flavors and textures that you like personally as you cook. So taste as you go and touch the food as you go.
Now
There's nothing wrong with that.
this here is my green on the plate.
Oh, beautiful.
It's romaine lettuce, which I washed, and this here is a little radicchio. And
Radicchio.
The only reason actually I use the radicchio is because, again, I like to have a little different flavor and also different color.
It adds a little bite to the
And
to
has
the
a
greens
little has
too,
a little
though.
bite, yeah.
A lot of people don't like it because they're not used to the bitterness of this lettuce. But I love it.
That's actually true. You do still see a lot of people who don't eat it because I think they don't know what it really
No,
is.
they think maybe that it's gone bad or something because it's I don't know.
No, they may think it's red cabbage, which, sometimes red cabbage, I mean, you don't want to eat red cabbage raw, but this is, as you can see, I'm stealing a little of this butter here.
That's lovely wine. Man, that's great.
And now we're just going to butter fry this. Actually, your little white wine there that you have
yeah, you bet.
would do good in here, just to give it a little moisture.
How's that?
Very good, very good. I'm going to steal the cover from this one there. I'm going to put it there for a minute.
I tell you, this is looking so good. I feel like
Put the little almonds
tucking
there
in right now.
Now, this is the plate we're actually going to put this on. And I think I like to take these potatoes out now, these apples here.
We have
This is
lots-
also a seasonal product.
the crab apples.
Yeah, but they look beautiful. This one here is a crabby one, and I
Here.
made that one for you.
Oh, thank you. I won't eat it right now because it's boiling hot. We have a fair bit of time, so we don't have to rush too much. Sometimes it's hard to judge when you're doing live to tape like we are.
So this wine there, do you know this winery yourself? Have you ever
Yeah, I
been there?
do. No, I've been there, and it's actually one of the most southern wineries. If it's across the street from Divino Winery, from Joseph Busnardo's Divino Winery, and it's just across the street. So I think Joe's winery is probably the most southern, and Gehringer's would be the second most southern. So they get a lot of heat, a little bit more heat than other vineyards in the Okanagan. And these guys have won awards internationally in New York, across the world, gold and silver medals, like yourself. These people have won, and local awards too.
I'm sure they've done.
They seem to clean up.
They've done the same thing we have done. They have tried to, or they have exposed their Canadian product in other parts of the world.
Absolutely. And they've done it beautifully too. Should I try this?
Actually, yeah.
Ah, it's still hot. Do they get sweeter? Do you think when you poach them a little bit, when you cook them, the
Well, there is
sugar?
slightly a little sugar in that water there.
Oh.
So, but I
That's
think
why.
there should still be quite tanning.
Oh no, you want them.
Yeah,
No.
a little bit on the
You
bitter
want
side.
that bite. Yeah.
Now,
That's very good.
this sauce here, I just put the heat on. We really need to kind of reduce it a little longer. And these potatoes here need a little more color, and also naturally they need to be cooked.
No. How much longer for these?
Well, I will take another minute or so,
Oh, good.
2 minutes, something like this.
So this is
And this is something
Very
anybody
easy.
can do.
How long have you been? How long have you had La Belle Auberge?
In April it will be my 12th year anniversary.
Oh.
So for today's standards, a restaurant of that age is
Pretty good.
it's quite an achievement.
Now, for those people who don't know, maybe you should explain what La Belle Auberge means.
La Belle Auberge is
who's French,
the beautiful inn.
The beautiful inn, and it is.
It's an old house,
how old is that house?
1902, so it's
Wow.
going to
I
have
didn't
its
know it was that
90-year anniversary next year. So it's going to be a great year next year.
Next year, you're having
1992, it will be 90 years old.
90 years old. So I guess you have a big party that you'll invite me
Well,
to.
I should do something, that's for sure, yeah. Should get all Vancouver to come on the same day.
Oh yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
No, I think
You'd be too busy.
I probably would rather they space
No,
it.
space it out a little bit. I think that'd be too much.
Yeah.
I think your sous chef would go nuts.
It's probably me who go nuts.
So, with the wine and cream, we want this to reduce. Why is this boiling here? We're reducing this to reduce the volume.
That's right. We would like to reduce this so I can add a little port wine, which is what my other idea was, is to give it a light creamy flavor with a little sweet port.
But this cream, butter, shallots, and wine, we're going to reduce this so that it's of a texture that you want, a creamy, thicker texture. Yes. I love using creams for thickening sauces instead of flours because you don't get that floury flavor. You know, even the best chefs, I've had some. This is a personal thing for me. I don't like.
We don't really cook with flour too much anymore today.
No.
Reduction is what we do mostly, and here naturally also
you get more flavor.
The juice came out of the bird too. So, but naturally it needs a little patience, and sometimes. That's one thing that sometimes when you're on TV right now, you don't always have that exact right amount of time that you need to reduce something like this.
But I think this is going to be fine. This is going to reduce fine.
Now the one part about this, lettuce like this, it always has a tendency of oozing out a little bit. So before you put it on a plate, you put it a little bit on the side so that the water...
So it bleeds a little bit, color and water.
So you don't have this on the plate when you finally assemble it.
Okay. Okay. What's your background a little bit? Tell us about your background. You're from Switzerland?
I'm originally from Switzerland, yes.
So are my grandparents.
I left when I was quite young. I made an apprenticeship in Switzerland. When I was 15, I went to France first for a year, and 19... I don't want to say which year, otherwise people may know how old
Almost
I am.
got him.
I went to Puerto Rico for a 2-year stint.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And then I came to Montreal, spent 10 years in Montreal. I worked at the Queen Elizabeth and some other hotels. And then eventually I joined the airline, CPA.
Wow, yeah. And you were how old? You were very young.
I'm still very young.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
You're trying, yeah.
No. I meant you were really, really a lot younger. Or, no, never mind. I'm just kidding. Forget it. No, but you were 25 or something.
But you see, when you're young, there are some disadvantages, like
but when you were 25, how old were you?
When I came to Canada, I was 20.
20, but when you were with CPR?
I was 32.
32, well, that's very, very young. And my point was that for a man of 32 to have that type of position, that's extraordinary.
It was an excellent position, there's no question about it. I traveled all over the world. I met some great chefs everywhere, and I learned from them too. Because one person can't know everything. And when I was fortunate enough to meet other chefs, I always tried to get them involved in what, get some of their ideas.
Yeah.
And it is always much more successful when you have other people who know something that you don't know, work with you and give you their ideas, and together you put it together and you can learn from each other.
Without probably meaning to, I think, you just hit the nail on the head with what my program, to me, a lot of it's all about, and that's to bring people like yourself on the show, so we can share, a cooking experience, so other people can experience your cooking and maybe glean some ideas from you, and other chefs as well, and I think it's that sharing, that's how I've learned most of my cooking technique. The technique and method, and being inspired by people like yourself.
I think most people who have learned something have learned it from somebody. We all learn from each other, and the same goes in our profession probably even more than anywhere else. It's because food is not patented. You can copy anyone you like. And I always say to my young cooks, if you find something that's beautiful, don't be shy to copy it, and then add some of your own to
But
it.
try to make it yourself.
You know, add something
right.
that you personally feel you would like to add to it. And usually it makes a beautiful, beautiful combination. And also you feel pleased about it because you liked it, and the guy who actually invented it or who created it is going to be very happy because you have found something that he did beautiful for you.
I'm sure that the camera is picking this up, but the meat looks incredible. The fowl looks, I know that this is cooked. I never tasted this before, but I can tell when I'm salivating now, like mad.
Yeah,
I can tell by looking at it. Look at it, it's gorgeous.
You can see how moist and juicy it is.
Oh,
and the juice is not the fat from the sauce. It's actually what's in the bird itself.
It's in the bird.
Yeah.
And so it's important, isn't it, Bruno, not to overcook the product.
Well, as you could
not to
see, this
overcook
was not
it.
really cooked. It was slightly poached.
Just poached? Yeah.
I even make all my pheasants the same way, even though the pheasants will be on a brown sauce, but I poach them the same way, just in cream or in butter, and just very little heat. Let it stand on the side, and then eventually, that's what the flavor will be.
I keep thinking I have asbestos hands and I can pick these things up without a cloth. Yeah.
And now you can look at our sauce too.
Oh, and smell it.
And here I do have a little port, and I did
Great.
want to put a little port in here.
Yeah, okay. So far, just to go over this, we have butter, shallots, Pinot Auxerrois wine from the Okanagan, some fresh cream, because that rotten cream is awful. You don't want to use that stuff. I don't know why they call it fresh
cream.
It should be fresh.
Beautiful cream, yeah.
Some nice cream. And some basil. Was that just, what was that?
That was
some
just
basil?
a little sweet basil,
A
yeah.
little basil, a little basilico.
Again, the reason why I put the little basilicum is because the plate, when you look at it, it does lack a little green color. It has red, it has brown, but it needs a little something green. Also, look at this.
That'll work so well too, though.
I mean, right now, this sauce is to perfection.
Well, I'm glad that actually we've come to the end of the program again, and because
You want to eat this?
I want to eat this. I'm hungry, and it looks great.
Now, that's the texture of the sauce.
Wow.
Beautiful, creamy, shiny, no flour.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful.
So
I just heard one of the cameramen go, "It's beautiful," and it is. Bruno, this does look great and very representative of the things that you do at La Belle Auberge, the beautiful in your 1902 house in Ladner.
in Ladner, yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Hey, let's move this over here. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Move that quick.
Is that warm?
Yeah, it's just a little hot.
warm.
Get a good loving shot of this. Now, tell us what this is very, very quickly.
This is a Guinea fowl
Guinea fowl,
cooked in cream and Auxerrois.
Auxerrois wine.
And a few vegetables and crab apples. It's really an autumn dinner. You know,
it's
with
great.
the almonds and the crab apples. It's beautiful.
Well, we got to go. We're gonna tuck into this. Drink some Auxerrois from Gehringer Brothers. My guest today has been my friend Bruno Marti, executive chef, culinary gold medalist, owner of La Belle Auberge restaurant in Ladder. My name is Gary Faessler for Chefs About Town. Until we see you next time, enjoy yourselves, eat well, drink a little wine. Make sure it's good wine. Good night. Bye.
Good night. Thanks very much,
Okay,
Gary.
thanks.
Pleasure to be here.
Kitchen facilities provided by the De Breuil French Culinary School. Cookware and accessories used on Chefs About Town provided by the Cook Shop at Coquitlam Center. Global stainless steel knives provided by Chutka's Design Limited. Chefs About Town is made possible by funding provided in part by Grey Monk Estate Winery, producers of distinctive wines for discriminating taste, all approved with the Vintners Quality Alliance seal, your assurance of international excellence. And the whole kitchen caboodle, from gadgets to gourmet. The whole kitchen caboodle at City Square has what you need. And Souk Harbor House, a restaurant inn by the sea on Vancouver Island. Purveyors of regional Canadian cuisine are proud to be sponsors of British Columbia's Food and Wine Arts program, Chefs About Town.